Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Marketing with Russ, where I give entrepreneurs and business owners like you advice on their marketing. Today's caller is one of my good friends, a professional videographer, Zach Johnson with HBZ Media. He called in to touch base with me, talk a little bit about his marketing, and he's a professional content creator, so I don't have much advice for him on the branding side of his business as his accounts look phenomenal. But we do talk a little bit about his strategy moving forward, and I think there's still a lot of information in this call that many of you can learn from. So stay tuned. How's it going? Zach, thanks for coming on to the Marketing with Russ show. Let's just get right into it. We'll tell everybody who you are, what you do, a little bit about your business, and then we'll go into the marketing side of things. So start off just what's your business? Who are you?
Awesome. Yeah. What's going on, guys? I'm Zach Johnson, owner of HBZ Media, based in Boston, Massachusetts, originally from Waltham, Mass. Just a company that loves to shoot wedding films and tell brand stories. I've been at it for 6 years, coming on 7 years now, since I started my business in 2017, and just excited to be here. Just finished another exciting 2023, and a lot in store for 2024. Just getting ready to go.
I love it. And for the people at home watching, obviously we go way back. Many people watching probably have seen me tag you in posts and vice versa. So we go back, we work together, we share some clients, and so I'm excited to talk to you. And we talk a lot as friends about your marketing and our goals. But I'm excited to sit down and actually spend some time going really over your marketing plan and what you could possibly pull off in the next year to 5 years even, if you put your foot in the right direction and activate marketing strategy. So let's get into it. I'm excited. So a little bit more about your company. Let's tell everybody how big the company is, your role within it. How did it all start?
Yeah. So essentially I started the company after ending my year stint at a restaurant gig, and it's really just been me over the last 6-7 years. I did recently bring in my buddy Paul. We all know him, my buddy from Westfield, to help out with a couple different things, marketing, social media, more so just kind of getting me more posts than one, because I feel like sometimes it's I'm working on a lot of these client gigs and it's tough to boost out other content that it's definitely there. You know what I mean? So having someone like that's able to, give me a +1 on a video per week or what have you.
That's awesome.
That's exciting for 2024. But yeah, I'm kind of one of those solopreneurs that does everything, answers all the emails, shoots all the videos, edits all the videos. Really looking to scale upward this year and getting new editors on board. For multiple reasons. One's for quality control and making sure things get out in a timely manner, and then also just for peace of mind for me. And another thing is to spend time with family, friends, girlfriend, all that good stuff.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad to hear everything's going well. Huh?
Did I answer the question?
Yeah, that's perfect. And you touched on an amazing first point that I want everybody to think about and appreciate about what you just said, which is that the first addition to your company that you made, employee-wise or partner-wise, first addition to your team was a social media manager. Because and this is why I'm excited for this conversation, because you understand this stuff at the same level that I do, if not more on the actual content creation and professional production side. So I'm super excited to show people at a higher level what we're gonna think about today and talk about today. You understand the priority of social media. Why is that?
I think of the phrase out of sight, out of mind. And in this digital age, you could post 1 week and not post for another year or 2 years, and people will completely forget about you. I just feel like I see people that I follow that have posted maybe years ago, and then I see them now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I legit forgot about this person. You know what I mean? And I'm so 100%, as funny as it is, I'm so serious. I legit forgot about them. And that's how a lot of my business comes in, is because I'm trying to stay as active as I can. You know, some people say active is like 3 times a day, but my active is a little bit different. As long as I post like every couple of weeks, for me, every couple of weeks, and it's a quality post, that's good for me, because I can only maintain that level
Quality.
of getting of quality, and also getting the business and retaining the client and everything like that.
Right.
So so yeah, I think it's just so important. It comes down to branding, to your presence, to your personality being on there. I've been putting up a lot of like more personal things, and I feel like that allows for my customers, clients, supporters, whoever you want to call it, like for them to connect with me and want to grow with me, and and want to learn about me, and we get to learn about each other, and I think that that's awesome.
And you've been sort of naturally successful on social media since I ever knew you. I remember meeting you at Westfield, and you had like 3,000 or 4,000 followers on Twitter, and you were typing everything in all caps, and you had like an audience of people.
My Tyler the creator.
And this is like before. Yeah, I love it. But this was before I ever thought I was going to start a marketing company or, go down this path that I went down. And you had never professionally shot videos, but you were walking around campus with a camera, and maybe you had done like some school projects and projects with Paul at that time. But regardless, I remember seeing you and thinking like, wow, this guy is, he sees the potential in media. And you were using your own social media. You already had like a personality built. And so you carried a lot of that audience into your HBZ Media business when you started. A lot of your like core followers are those people from back at school. And so it's and obviously it's grown substantially from there through referrals and networking and more professional connections. But like that core base is really what I saw watching you grow, was like what sort of propelled you and gave you a lot of the validation in the first couple of years on social, which is super important for people to be aware of, because I see a lot of people who are like the older generation, up from us. Maybe they're like 40, 50 years old. They never had social media growing up. And so they're starting their accounts new, like maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they're adding all these friends for the first time, but they don't have like that core audience that you were working on, since you were a teenager, essentially, that propels you and allows you to like generate the amount of interaction and referrals. Like it's all very organic for you. And that's huge, because there's a lot of people who have as many followers as you or as much notoriety as you in the creative space who don't necessarily have like legit organic following. Like a lot of it is like followers that found you through hashtags or through paid ads, or maybe you bought 3,000 followers when you were in college. So like that propelled you a little bit. But at the end of the day, you're getting like a lot of spam comments. You see that all the time. And with yours, there's none of that. So I want people to check you out, see what a real like organic social media presence looks like, and like what happens in your comment section for real when you post something. Like you have real friends and real business associates commenting on your stuff with real meaningful stuff, as opposed to just like fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. I do my fair share of fires on your on your videos.
I'm gonna give you.
But I want people to know that
that's like 3 or 4 fires. Yeah, I'm going to give you like 3 or 4 fires.
Yeah, but I just want people to know that that's what it's all about. And so when we talk about organic followings, a lot of people think like, well, I posted a couple personal things about my family, but it's not enough. Like a real organic following is built over like 5 or 10 years, not like 3 or 6 months of like trying to put yourself out there a little bit more. And what you are going to accomplish on social media in the next like 5 years is going to be like, you're at that point that I've talked about on this show and on our podcast. You're on that point of like hitting that exponential curve, like growth point. And over the like I guarantee, how many followers do you have on Instagram right now?
I'm close to 3.
Yeah, close to 3. But it's just really quality followers. So you'll be at 10 in like 6 months to a year if you start posting consistently, and 10 goes to 25 so fast, and 25 goes to 75 so fast. And that's what but it's just getting like, you've spent how many years getting to 3,000 quality ones,
right?
That's what I want people to think about.
And I've lost I look back and have lost so many followers due to change of like all of those types of things. So it's like,
but you're okay with that.
they followed me for music videos, and I don't really, do that anymore. So it's
Right.
like they're like, why should I follow this person? It's
Which is
that's
fair
why.
because as you have evolved, you've allowed that to happen. And
Of course, and one thing I just want to touch on that you were talking about is like a lot of people say, "Oh, I wish I never went to college. It didn't like pan out for me, or like I spent so much money and didn't get a lot out of it." Well, I agree with some of the learning about like, yeah, you didn't pick up a lot of things that you like learned in college or what have you. I would agree on some of those things, but just the connections that I've built. I was so blessed to have gone to Waltham High and Westfield State. Just fostering those connections over those years, it really was an incredible experience, and just try to treat everyone the best way I could, and hopefully do the same for me, and stuck to the relationships that just really stuck.
100%, man. And you've done a great job with it. You're a bright light for sure. Like you just bring the best energy into every room you enter. So and that, people see that and feel that when you're out shooting. And on social media, they can feel that like everything that you put out there comes from a really genuine place. And so, that's another piece of it too. It's like authenticity in real life allows you to be more authentic on social media and vice versa. Like if you really are who you are on both sides, you're never faking it. And so you can walk with a lot of confidence. And that's how you gain a lot of support.
Right. You have nothing I think I heard it in one of you have nothing to lie about. You know what I mean? You have nothing to like.
Yeah.
Think
Remember,
twice about
you don't have to like. Yeah, exactly. So that's all huge. So we've talked enough about how you're crushing it on social media and how you understand it really well. So let's talk about what things you think you can improve on, or what your marketing goals are for the next few years. I'm sure you and Paul have talked a little bit, and so I'm interested in brainstorming about how you guys can work together to accomplish maybe more. Or like how, strategies that you can use now that you have somebody in place who is actually helping you, which is an amazing thing. Because I thought we were going to be talking about like motivating you to post a couple extra times a week on your own and time blocking all that out on your own. But the fact that you have Paul now helping you out is massive. So let's talk about what you guys can accomplish together now and brainstorm a little bit on that side.
Yeah, I think that first of all, Paul is such a great addition to the team. When you just bring, I'm sure you have felt this with all of the incredible people that you
Absolutely.
have in your company. You just bring someone on and you know that they're for you and that they're going to do right by you. And he's just such a smart dude. Anytime I talk about Paul, I talk about him glowingly because he is just so smart. You know what I mean? And he knows me. And I think that was like one of the most important things in bringing him on. So in terms of the future for us, I think it's just, like I said, that additional post that I can bump out over like a week or two, like what have you, like on TikTok, LinkedIn, maybe it's a LinkedIn article, maybe it's a cool TikTok post of just a couple moments of me or what have you. Like, I think it's just being a little bit more present on social media and just a little bit more active. Maybe there's times where I'm posting 2 times a day. And then, you really can't forget about me. Like,
Right.
Some of that stuff. I think one of the big things too, something I definitely want to talk about is getting me out nationally, not just in the New England space, but, really across the globe. I think that I've shot a lot of weddings and everything and businesses locally. I've shot brands nationally, and I want to take that into my wedding space as well. Some of these some of the venues and all that stuff nationally, I think just propel your brand in the wedding space. Not to shame anything about the New England space. New England's beautiful. It does feel like we shoot a lot of the same venues sometimes. So I think that just getting out there and being able to say, oh, I shot in Atlanta and, or Georgia and LA and this place, that place. I think that that's all important and the trajectory that I see myself going on.
Okay, cool. I love that. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that a little bit. I'm just looking at your Instagram now, and it is like, it's obviously looks great. Like the quality of the content is like top notch, which you'd expect from a videographer, right? The only thing I can really think of that you might be lacking in is behind the scenes stuff. Like there's a lot of professional photo shoots of you, which is great for your brand. Like I don't really know how much behind the scenes you'd want to put up because it wouldn't like necessarily go with the aesthetic of the feed. But like professional behind the scenes stuff where you're actually shooting would be really sick. And then if you wanted to go down that route of like making topic videos like about different things, or like I see a lot of videographers making those like they end up being trendy videos, but they're just talking about like their pricing structure and like what you get for a $10,000 package or this or that. Like those are the only two like main streams that I could think, but it's all up to you.
And that is such a good point, because it's like, and I could also put that on my Reels page if I wanted to, like hide it from like the timeline and stuff like that. I guess I wouldn't want clients coming there like, did you see this cool camera trick? Or like, you know what I mean? Like how like,
yeah.
You know
yeah. That's just not your style.
But I do think that I could do that. And I do think that I have a lot of things to talk about and everything like that. It really just, I would totally do that. And I think I would want to crush it on YouTube with that too. But like, again, it just comes down to me doing everything. And, you know, it's kind of like something that gets brushed under the rug. But that's something that I believe that that's something I'm definitely open to. And in terms of the behind the scenes, some stuff coming, absolutely, for sure. I think it's something that I want to be more active on, for sure. Cool. Being mic'd up at times, and just showing off the personality, showing off hopefully some of the skills I got, and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The only other thing I can think of is just like, and I'm sure this is what you've talked about with Paul, is just more clips from the footage that you already have. You know, like an extra 30-second highlight reel of a wedding. It gives you that extra post every week.
Right. And just like the clips, even if it was just a moment too, I think that that's important too. That like, I don't need to even,
the mic'd up moments.
Even need to get right. Like the mic'd up moments, or just like a moment from the day that stood out that might've been like 10 or 15 seconds, like post that. All right, cool. Nothing that I really had to like use a lot of brain capacity with, like, just like, oh, this was a cool moment. Let's throw a quick color grade on it. Make sure that my caption is strong, and let's go with it and do the next thing.
Yep. I love that. I mean, I think the organic posting side you've got covered, so I don't even want to waste our time and talk more about that. What I want to do is brainstorm on the national or international side. Have you thought about ways that you can put yourself out there more nationally?
My only thing is just like being like, hey, like I shoot outside of New England, like on my story and stuff like that. Like, without throwing money down, like that's the only thing I've really thought of, and continuing those conversations that, oh yeah, I shoot nationally, just talking amongst my friends and everything like that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, probably isn't going to do like a whole lot, but it is something, because for me, I haven't shot any wedding nationally, like outside of New England, which is crazy. And I feel like you only need one to be able to shoot 5 and then shoot 10 and then shoot 100, you know?
Right. Yeah. What about, I just had this thought, but tagging, like posting, picking like one city that like you'd really like to try to get business in. Because if you just go like national, it's too broad of a goal, and you'll end up like being too sporadic for it to actually work. So if you pick a city, like say LA, and you'd like really want to do an LA wedding, maybe you'd do somewhere that's a little less competitive, because like there's got to be just billions of videographers out there doing that right now in LA. But like pick maybe the second most popular city for content, and like just posting videos, but tagging that location like constantly. Like have Paul just like flip that switch to Chicago on every single post that goes up, or like, you know, do separate content just for like that one city.
Almost like a fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Just tag the location, so your stuff just drops into. That's like a savvy sort of cheat code way of doing it, but why not talk about it? You know what I mean? Because like we're this is in the context of not running paid ads, right? We're not going to do Google ads in a city and like wait for leads to trickle in on the website, assuming like no budget. So organically, like that would be the way to do it. Like just keep tagging the location, hashtag the location, and I would just like pick a city. That would be like your goal for a while, and like see if you can just drip into the discovery section that way organically by like tagging them, and also connecting with other like just DM other production companies in those areas.
Right. Production
and
companies
like,
and planners is one thing that I see a lot of people in the space talk about is, connecting with planners because, outside of New England, because they obviously will have weddings outside of New England and, all that stuff.
Yeah. Do you like DM salespeople?
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't cold called or cold DM someone in a long time, and I feel like I should because it really gives you the business that you want. You know what I mean?
Well, even if you don't DM them, like following a bunch of companies that are production, like just Google production companies near me in that city, and follow everybody on Instagram, and then even if you don't DM them, you can connect with them and like drip into their feed every once in a while to the point where like if they're in a pinch, they hit you up. And that's how it works typically, right? Like that's the first referral is like, hey, we're overflowed, we need a guy. And then you're like in.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a good thing. A lot of the national creators that I follow, I mean, they're just so good. And, I'd see their page and just be like, ooh, follow. Like even if they don't follow me back, it's like whatever. But yeah, no, that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing as just commenting on their stuff and everything like that.
Yeah, commenting 100%.
So that's Instagram. How hard do you hustle on like LinkedIn, YouTube?
I'm gonna walk away because I'm so non-existent on that. You'd be so disappointed. Don't even go to my LinkedIn.
I love it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm on it.
I really, yeah, man.
I mean, it looks good.
I'm very conflicted because for some reason I believe that wedding things should not be on LinkedIn for some reason. I don't know why. I just feel
I agree.
It's not really the place for it. I guess you can, but I would say it's way more personal content than professional content, even though it looks really professional because everybody's suited up.
Like most of my stuff is like a big part of when I say brands is like me working with Clark's is like a fourth of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like most of my LinkedIn posts are like every other season, every other like half year or whatever, because that's usually when I get to post like the
big
Clark
updates
stuff and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yeah, no, I definitely, working with Top Notch and a couple other brands and companies, I need to stay more updated on that, whether it be text based or just some of the content that we've been pumping out. I think I'm like complaining, but like it is stuff like you post it on Instagram and then you post it on, TikTok, and then you're like, you know what I mean? Like you go to Facebook and then go to LinkedIn.
Well, that's all I would say. Like, that's really my only other piece of advice would be like, with the additional capacity, and I don't know how much capacity it is on Paul's end, but that's what I would do. Like, just diversify the platforms a little bit more, like you're already crushing Instagram and Facebook automatically, posting to Facebook, I think. But like just add in the other platforms too, if you have the extra capacity, like hit LinkedIn hard, TikTok. How are you doing on TikTok? Everything seems to go up on, it looks like almost everything goes up on TikTok, but I think you could do really well there.
Yeah, no, I can definitely do better there. A lot of the things too that I struggle with on TikTok that I don't want to say it isn't my fault, but I'll post something like, let's just say this, for instance, I shot a wedding in New Hampshire recently, used a song from Epidemic Sound, which is a licensing site. Song's a banger. Used the song in the wedding film. It was like a shorter wedding film, posted it to TikTok, and it said, oh, no, you can't use this song. It's not yours.
Right.
When I licensed it, you know what I mean? So then I think just trying to find, it's just like finding ways around that, whether I only post 20 seconds from that and use a different song or, that's all some of the other limitations on TikTok. But I think also there should be some TikTok exclusive stuff that, I don't post everything to Instagram. Some of it is TikTok exclusive. So you have to follow me on TikTok to, get that content.
Yeah, I would hold off on TikTok exclusive stuff until you're at least posting all of the generic content on all platforms. So like scale that point up to the point where you are able to get it all on TikTok and LinkedIn and Twitter. Like once you feel like you're okay, everything's actually getting onto all platforms consistently, then and only then does it really make sense to do like a TikTok specific post. And also like I always tell people a lot more followers are required for that too, because everybody asks us that. Like new clients ask us that all the time. Like, are you going to make different posts for Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn? And it's like, well, not unless you have like $1 million budget, because that means we're managing like so much more than a typical social media like strategy for like a small or medium sized business. That's like Coca-Cola level marketing strategy where you're doing, or like Clark's level marketing strategy where there are like different like narratives on different feeds, and like, you know, all power to them. Like I hope we work with clients like that, you know, sooner rather than later where we can do that. But for a lot of small business clients that I'm giving advice to on like a daily basis, it's like, no, like you have to focus on just getting it all, whatever it is, getting it on all platforms first before you start to, and like doing it consistently for 6 to 12 months, not just like doing it like, oh, well, I did it all like once and then I did it for like 2 weeks. And then like now I'm ready to start making like different posts for TikTok, because it's like so much to commit to. It's so much time. And you and I know that more than anyone, because we know that like, okay, you want TikTok specific content. That means like another edit, like a whole separate, like maybe 30-minute edit on a video. It's not just, it doesn't just happen overnight. Like it's all time.
I'm laughing too because like I'm saying like, oh, like exclusive content, and I'm like, I have like 200 followers on TikTok. It's like there's gonna be like 5 people that see it. Like, ooh, yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. So that's the thing, is like you need way more followers to get to the point where you are, because that's the only reason you'd ever do platform specific content. I mean, yeah, like if you're at the level where you can produce enough content, you can appeal to your like, but it's like the audiences are only slightly oriented towards each platform. Like there are members of each demographic on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn. And the way people talk about it and think about it is like, well, only young people are on TikTok, only like millennials are on Instagram, and only boomers are on Facebook. And it's like, no, they're all on every one. They all slightly skew towards those directions, no doubt, but there are young people on Facebook, there are old people on TikTok, there's no doubt about it. So like they're all gonna see it. It's all about just being consistent on all of them for now. So that's good. Hopefully that like saves you guys a conversation and like some wasted time next year, you know? And that's the idea. Is like just thinking about all these little concepts up front allows you and Paul now to be like, all right, like, you know, we talked about that, like let's just get them all out on each platform rather than going down that rabbit hole. You know, which you could waste like 2 days going down a rabbit hole like that, you know? So that's good. That's good. And I knew that we would only be like finding very small details within your strategy because you know what you're doing. But that's why I was excited to talk to you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I think the other thing is just like bringing on another like continuing to bring on new people, editors. Like, I think for me next year, just like, especially during these months, dude, oh my gosh, like having another wedding film editor, even to take on 3 or 4 of my weddings, dude, like imagine that. Like I wouldn't still be working on weddings right now. Like,
right.
I just think that like for me, I do have trouble like letting go. This is my, like this business is like my baby and everything like that. I've always applauded the way that you and Namra have been able to work collaboratively, like the people at Namra, Sahil Taylor, Justin, have just been able to come in and work towards like one common goal. Like it's not as easy. Yeah, no, for sure. It's not as easy because like I feel like I've been doing it myself, and now I'm like at the point where I'm like, I need help. Like I need, you know what I mean? Just because I know it's going to make things easier, and I know that the growth is going to be exponential, you know, once I allow that help to come in.
Yeah. Well, and that's good that like you've had those thoughts, because I know there's been times where you've also had the thought of like, I'm just going to be a solo creator forever, which there's like, that's a great route to go too, because you make super high end stuff. You might get to the point where you only need like 3 projects a year and you're absolutely golden, you know? So that's a path in our industry. And then there's the other path of like building a team, becoming a little more of like an agency, and, you know, you end up managing things. So it's cool that you've even decided that like that's sort of the path you want to take. at least to a certain extent, to like allow you to like grow the business.
Which is great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I would never get to the point for like weddings. Like I know some people do it and all glory to them. Like hiring other people to shoot the wedding. Like, I don't know. I feel like for the weddings, I'm like, they hired me because they want me to be there and through our talks and everything like that, or they know me through high school or they know me through college or whatever. Like that's why they are hiring. Not to sound pompous or anything like that.
No, I mean, that's true. Especially when you start, that's super true.
But also to the fact of like, I can't even imagine sending and I can't even imagine sending 2 shooters out to like a wedding, like more specifically than like brand stuff. Like brand stuff, hey, maybe we can shoot it another time. Like if something goes south, like, you know, we're going to make it right. We're going to do what it takes to make it right. But for a wedding, that's the thing about weddings.
You get one shot.
There's only
I have
one
anxiety listening to you talk about it, dude. Yeah. Just thinking about that. It's a one-shot deal. So I know, I appreciate the fact that you're like,
you don't want to grow to the point where you're not the one with like the lead camera
on those weddings, which is cool. Yeah, that's huge.
My gosh.
Yeah, I get you. No, that's really cool, man. I'm trying to think of what else we can go over in terms of like marketing strategy. Testimonial videos. I was thinking you don't really have any like client testimonial videos.
All coming.
Okay, cool.
100%.
Cool.
100%.
That's awesome.
And just test like written testimonials in general, all coming.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff, man. I'm glad.
What I have coming is definitely exciting because it's like a new look for what I have going on. So
good stuff. The only other thing I would say is like just thinking forward a bit. Like as you grow, try to take like whatever you get paid from like one project a year and set it aside for boosting, like Facebook ads and maybe some Google ads too. Because if you do pick a city and like you get specific with like who you're trying to target within that city, like to get some national jobs in an area, you don't need to spend more than like $100 to $200 a month on Facebook ads or Google ads if you are able to like do that sustainably. Like you can kind of just set them and forget them as a part of your organic strategy where it's like you're like tagging posts in that city, you're like putting yourself out there from time to time in that area. And so if you also drip some light Google ads with like a very finite targeted group of like demographic audience where you're targeting like producers or media companies in the area or people interested in those things, it's pretty specific in that industry. So it's not like you're targeting the entire city and you need like, you know, a $5,000 a month budget on Google to like cover the spread of like the entire population. The more niche you get when you're running ads, the less you need to spend to reach those people. So you can get to the point where you are dropping like $250 a month on Facebook, but you're having a pretty decent impact on like a specific group of people within that city, like all the media people.
Yeah.
You know,
you said something I think really important is you narrow down what you're saying, like to be very specific. And I think that really carries over to like YouTube and something that I really want to hit home. I've actually like YouTube is something that I've been hitting harder than most things, more so like on the short side of things. And I think in terms of that, just being more specific and posting there more and getting like being able to get monetized and like have some income coming from that. I think that that's going to be another big step.
Yeah, that's huge. If you can start even making like a couple bucks off of each YouTube video and like you use that to fund the Facebook ads, like then you're golden. And that's the engine that everybody out there should sort of be trying to set up. And I know we're going to do it at Namra. We're going to get to the point where the podcast is monetized and there's a Namra golf channel and there's like all these things going on where we're a media company and it's a little easier for us to do it. But like every business is going to have to get to the point where like they do have a YouTube channel, it's getting enough views to fund the ads that promote the YouTube channel, and like that reinforcing engine is super valuable. And you and I see creators do that all the time. I watch YouTube religiously like it's TV now. So I see all the ads, and I'm in the industry, so I'm always top of mind, like thinking about like, wow, the industry is shifting to YouTube, and like these YouTubers who I follow are getting, like, they're making millions, like they're making thousands of dollars a month off of each YouTube video because they are getting hundreds of thousands of views on each video, and YouTube runs the ads. And so going down that rabbit hole and actually trying to push for views long term is a good strategy, but it's not something that should be taken lightly for like small businesses. Like, it's a huge commitment to get to that point.
No, absolutely.
But it's super, super valuable when you get there because it does just fund itself. Are you posting on your Google business profile?
No, and I need to. That's one other thing I need to do.
Okay. Yeah. I would mix that in. I would focus
on that even before you focus on TikTok and LinkedIn, because that's getting more and more important, that you just like do organic, like keeping that page up to date, like getting more reviews
is huge.
That's like the worst of it. Like, you'll go on my Google thing now and you'll see like 2017, 18 stuff. Like, it's really bad.
Well, you have 5 stars still, so that's great.
That's good.
Out of 16 reviews, and 16 is like good, but they're all old, like you said. So getting new reviews is another thing. Like, maybe work that into the website, or like some sort of CRM where every client gets an automatic email. We don't even have that set up at Namra, and we need to. But some of our clients have things like that where they're generating reviews.
Yeah.
Just little things like that, man.
Yeah, I think the other thing, as I've like niched down, is just like marketing as two businesses, like as two like niches. Like, I focus on brands and weddings and things like that. So like I think you market as that, and I feel like sometimes I don't get the big stuff because they see that I also do weddings, or they may not pick me to do a wedding because they see some of the brand stuff. Like, sometimes I feel like that, and I feel like I'm blessed to have known people along the way, again, Waltham, Westfield, wherever I've met people, to like that they know me and everything like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the people that don't know me, they see that I do two things, and it's like, ooh, like, is he a real expert at this? Or, you know, hopefully seeing my videos, you could tell that, you know, I do this for.
You're crushing both of them. but okay, good point. So like, is there one side that you prefer? Like, do you want to do more brand stuff over wedding stuff, or vice versa in the future? Or would you want to keep the split? Because I think you don't need to decide. I think like we're entering a world where that will be like the uniqueness that propels you and doesn't hinder you. You know, it's cool. I think it's cool that you do both.
Yeah. I think also one of the things like that would like separate me is that I didn't just want to be a wedding filmmaker, or I just didn't want to be just a brand filmmaker. And at one point I did music videos and everything like that, but like, I feel like the music videos were really deterring me away from like other business that I could, getting, or, other, solid brand relationships and everything like that. So,
that was a little more fair though, because music videos are way less professional than like weddings and brands. Like, it's both very high end stuff. You know what I mean? And the music videos were so sick, man. I wish you kind of still did them. They were so fun to watch, but obviously less professional. Like that, I get that split.
Yeah, and every now and then, I might be able, I don't know. It's a tough thing. There's a lot of like pros and cons and stuff like that. It's more so like the people. Like, I love, the people that I was working with. So, every now and then, maybe. But
yeah, I do think the wedding thing will help you in the long run. This is a prediction as like a creator who's starting to like partner with other creators more, is if I know you've done weddings, like, I know you can handle our brand shoot, like, because it, like you said, it's so much more critical at a wedding than it is at a brand shoot. You never want a brand shoot to go bad. You never want to shoot with business to go bad, but you have one shot at that kiss. If you blow it, like, and it's gone forever. So anyone who has done a wedding, I'm like, they have everything together where they show up charged, like with fresh cards, like they nothing gets forgotten. And so that's super important.
Right. That's like one thing with me. One thing that I do love that some people may see as negative is just the pressure, dude. I love the pressure is like what gets me going. I'm sure with you too. Like,
a little bit, yeah. I have enjoyed weddings. I've done 2. And I've enjoyed them for that reason. It literally makes me feel like competitive for like 8 hours straight. Like it's such a grind, and you're like competing with time and like socializing and trying to keep everybody happy so they're smiling on video while you're shooting. And it's so action packed that the day flies by. And you get into like this fun, like a competitive zone. But it's also so stressful. And every time I finish a wedding, I go, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. Always drags you back, though. You got one more, Justin? Right.
No, I've done them for 2 friends. That's all. I'll never do it for somebody that I don't know.
Well, I'll send you an invite soon. We'll get through. I'll have you, Brian, and myself there. We'll tear it up. You haven't gotten to meet my friend. You haven't gotten to meet my friend Brian, though.
No, I haven't.
He's incredible, man. He does a lot of like the VFX stuff. I'm not sure if you follow him, but
cool.
He does VFX. Yeah, well, he does VFX stuff, and then he's like my guy. He's like my right hand on weddings. He keeps me organized and all that good stuff. So
I love it.
I know you're kind of pinched for time. I think we can probably wrap it up here. I think we covered as more than I thought we were going to be able to cover today, which is great. Yeah. Any other like thoughts or questions, things you want to like talk about?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking to get a little bit more active on social. I'm so excited for 2024. A lot of people are always like, yeah, this is going to be my year and like all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think the energy is very good going into this year. I feel a lot of positivity from people in our network, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a year of growth after 3 years of a brutal grind. Everybody's gone through the last 3 years together, and I think we're ready to thrive again.
Yeah, everything felt like preparation. Like this past year just felt like a lot of preparation, a lot of learning. I'm just excited to execute. I think that 2024 is just the year of execution.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I've never felt more confident about where we're at and, the narrative that we put forth and like with what we believe to be the right way to do marketing. I've never been more confident. We've never had more experience working with so many businesses, and it's a good feeling to be in that place where it's like, all right, like we can pop a little bit now. We're ready to grow, and
when we do, we're ready. So yeah.
And I appreciate you hopping on. This was fun. You didn't have to do this. You've got your marketing under control, but I knew it would be a good conversation for hopefully I have an audience by now. Like for them to listen in. There's a few people. You'll listen.
I just want to say that coat looks really good on you.
Thank you, man. I'm getting a lot of compliments on the Namra merch. We bought so much of it like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And so we all have like one of everything of like these nice jackets and like shirts and t-shirts. And I always forget to wear them. And I like refound this
a few months ago.
I didn't even know that you had.
Yeah, right. I know.
Well, I'll let you know. And because we want to get more merch. Like people have actually said like, I like the hats, I like the jackets. So eventually we're going to try to set up like a store on our website so people can order them, and then we'll send you. But it's tough to get that operation going.
Yeah.
But it'll be worth it.
Trust me, I know with the hoodies and everything like that.
Yeah. It's a force. It's a bit of a force.
It's ridiculous.
So when we have time, we'll do like another wave of merch. So that'll be fun. But yeah, man, I appreciate you. I'm glad everything's going well.
Thank you. I appreciate you too, man. You're the best.
Likewise, brother. Let me know. Obviously, like call back anytime. This is like, if you've ever been on the show, I want you to come back in 6 months, 12 months, let everybody know how things are going. You can hit me up anytime if you have any questions. Say hi to Paul for me. I'm literally going to DM him right now to say hi anyways. But man, talk to you soon.